No, top 10. Nickelodeon. I can't spell Nickelodeon for some reason. Nickelodeon. Okay, there we go. Okay, Mona Lisa continuing to show those. Okay, I'm trying to spell the rest of these. Let me go ahead.
It's tricky to definitively name the top 10 forgotten characters because what one person remembers, another might not. However, based on common discussions and lists of underrated or obscure Nickelodeon characters, here's a list that aims to include characters who might not immediately come to mind for many viewers, especially those from the network's earlier days or less mainstream shows. 1. Chalk Zone characters: Rudy, Snap, Penny. While the show had a unique premise, it's often overlooked compared to other Nicktoons of its era. 2. Mona Lisa, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1987 series. A mutated lizard who was a love interest for Raphael, she only appeared in a few episodes and is often forgotten in the TMNT lore. 3. Filbert Shellbach, Rocco's Modern Life. While Rocco and Heifer are well remembered, Filbert, the hypochondriac turtle, sometimes gets less immediate recognition. 4. Mr. Horse, The Ren and Stimpy Show. A recurring, often cynical background character who wasn't a main part of the bizarre duo's antics.
Okay.
5. Gaz Membrane, Invader Zim. Dib's gloomy, video game-obsessed younger sister, who often overshadowed him in sheer dark presence, but might be less immediately recalled than Zim or Dib. 6. Petunia, The Adventures of Pete and Pete. Little Pete's older sister's strongman companion who was always there but often in the background. 7. Sid. Hey Arnold. One of Arnold's friends, known for his intense reactions and sometimes outlandish ideas. He's a significant supporting character, but not always top of mind. 8. Suki. Avatar: The Last Airbender. While Aang, Katara, Sokka, and Zuko are iconic, the leader of the Kyoshi warriors, Suki, a strong and important ally, sometimes gets less spotlight in general memory. 9. Dr. Bendova, Rocco's Modern Life. A more obscure and somewhat controversial character from the show known for a memorable and bizarre scene. 10. Sparky, The Fairly Odd Parents. Timmy Turner's pet fairy dog,
I remember him.
introduced in later seasons, who didn't quite capture the same long-term popularity as Cosmo and Wanda.
Oh, wow. Name 3 forgotten. Darn man.
So it's like I can understand everything they say, no problem, but then it's hard to speak it back unless I'm trying to be sneaky with what I'm saying. Then also be careful.
Darman's videos feature a rotating cast of actors, and while some become quite recognizable, many others appear in fewer videos or less prominent roles and might be easily forgotten. It's also tricky because the actors often play different character types across various videos. Based on general discussions and the nature of his content, here are 3 examples of characters or types of characters that might be considered forgotten in the Darman universe. 1. Early background/minor role characters. In the early days of Darman's scripted videos, there were many actors who appeared in very brief, non-speaking, or generic background roles, e.g., a customer in a store, a student walking by. These characters rarely had names or significant impact on the plot, making them easily forgotten.
Right.
2. One-off antagonists or victims. Darman's videos often feature a clear antagonist and a victim. While some actors might play recurring mean girl or bully types, many play a single, specific antagonist or victim in one video, and then are not seen again or transition to completely different roles, making their specific character from that one video less memorable. For example, a Karen character from an older video might be forgotten if that actor later plays a protagonist. 3. Characters from less popular/older videos. Darman has produced hundreds of videos. The ones that go viral or are more recent tend to stick in viewers' minds. Characters from his older videos, especially those that didn't achieve as much traction, are more likely to be forgotten. This could include a specific spoiled kid or unsupportive parent from a video that's no longer actively shared or discussed.
She has brown hair now. Why not? Because I guess I just never learned how. I can teach you. Okay.
What makes him annoying? Like, what makes him annoying, by the way?
Granddad, Robert Jebediah Freeman from the Boondocks, is a complex and often annoying character for several reasons, which are central to the show's satire: hypocrisy and selfishness. Granddad frequently preaches about responsibility and discipline, yet he often acts incredibly selfishly. He prioritizes his own desires, often at the expense of Huey and Riley's well-being. He's quick to spend their money or their inheritance, get involved in get-rich-quick schemes, or pursue romantic interests that lead to chaos. Irresponsibility and laziness. Despite being the guardian, Granddad is often irresponsible, leaving Huey and Riley to fend for themselves or getting them into dangerous situations due to his poor judgment or laziness. He'd rather take the easy way out than genuinely parent. Short-tempered and verbally abusive. He has a very short fuse and is prone to yelling, threats, and even physical discipline, particularly with Riley in his belt. While sometimes played for comedic effect, it can also highlight a darker, more frustrating side of his character. Gullibility and naivete. For an older man, Granddad is surprisingly gullible. He often falls for scams, believes outlandish claims, and is easily manipulated, which frequently puts himself and the boys in ridiculous and problematic situations. Outdated views and resistance to change. He represents an older generation and often holds views that are out of touch with modern society, or even with the realities of Huey and Riley's experiences. He struggles to adapt to new ideas and is stubbornly set in his ways, which creates conflict with Huey's progressive thinking and Riley's street smarts. Parentification of Huey. He often relies on Huey to be the voice of reason and the responsible one, essentially making Huey the adult in many situations. This shifts the burden of care onto a child, which can be annoying to watch. While these traits make him annoying, they also make him a brilliant satirical character. His flaws often expose the absurdities of society, generational differences, and the challenges of raising children in a complex world. And despite all his shortcomings, there are occasional moments where he does show genuine care for his grandsons, which adds another layer to his complex personality.
If I pick Peter, if I pick Peter Griffin from Family Guy, it's gonna be a long list of stuff how dumb he is. Let me tell you. The blue
English isn't even his first language. What do you even do in this situation? I feel like they put you on a special
Ranger. There's no thing called Power Rangers, none, steel, everything.
Come on. The people who still think in 2025 that anime is cringe have never watched anything good. The only
I'm put what makes him annoying, not stand out. Yeah.
I dare you to watch Attack on Titan, Jujutsu Kaisen, and be like, this sucks, it's cringe. I mean, then you just don't have taste.
I mean, he's the first mystical. No, he ain't, because there's the Power Rangers Mystic Force, whatever. Never mind.
Preston Tien, the Blue Ranger from Power Rangers Ninja Steel, has a few characteristics that some viewers might find annoying, particularly when compared to other Power Rangers or character archetypes. Over-reliance on his magic gimmick, Preston's character revolves heavily around his love for magic and becoming a real magician. While this is his defining trait, for some viewers it can feel like it overshadows other aspects of his personality or makes his solutions to problems too often tied to magic rather than teamwork or strategy. It can sometimes come off as a bit one-note. Initial naivete/gullibility, especially in the beginning, Preston can be a bit naive or easily tricked, which can be frustrating to watch. While he grows and learns, this initial innocent, somewhat trusting nature can lead to him getting into silly situations. Wealthy background used for plot points. His wealthy background, his father is a prominent businessman, sometimes provides easy solutions or plot devices that feel a little too convenient, or it's used to create predictable, rich kid learns a lesson storylines. Lack of strong distinctive flaws/growth arc for some viewers. Compared to some other Rangers who have more pronounced personal struggles or clear character arcs, Preston's journey might feel less impactful or dramatic. His annoying qualities might stem more from a lack of significant depth or development that would make him more relatable or interesting to some viewers. Can be a bit too nice or earnest.
How?
While being kind-hearted is a positive trait, sometimes Power Rangers characters who are consistently earnest and sweet without much edge or internal conflict can be perceived as a bit bland or even annoying by viewers looking for more complex
Right.
personalities.
Oh my gosh, you
It's
know
important to
people.
remember that these are subjective criticisms. Many fans might find Preston's dedication to magic endearing, his kindness a refreshing change, and his character perfectly fine within the context of Ninja Steel. But for those who find him annoying, it often ties back to these aspects of his portrayal.
So y'all saying he used magic way too much in the show and became and stuff. He started using magic to solve all his problems. I don't think he did. I grew up watching the show. I don't remember him doing all of that. Using magic to solve all his problems. For the over reliance on his magic gimmick, I don't believe he did. Y'all could be dead wrong.
Why can't you just tell it to me like art one in soccer?
I'm a Longhorn. The first one in 3 generations to not play soccer. Like a family curse.
Well, at least you can play soccer. You know that?
I should not be complaining. I know how much you used to love to dance.
I still do. I'm actually learning salsa right now.
You are.
Oh, she's in a wheelchair. That's why she can't dance. Okay, see, I was wondering. I was like, why is she so frustrated that she can't dance?
I'm not talking about Jay and Monkey.
When you talk about the cousins from Darman, you're likely referring to Jay and Mikey, who are arguably the most prominent and frequently recurring cousin duo in his videos. They are known for their distinct personalities and often drive a significant portion of the plot, particularly in the Bookside High series and other school-centric videos. What makes them annoying, or at least a source of consistent conflict and therefore sometimes frustrating to watch, are their specific character traits. Jay, the good or golden child, often self-proclaimed, Jay is frequently portrayed as the smarter, more responsible, and often better cousin in contrast to Mikey. While this can be a good trait, it sometimes comes across as sanctimonious or self-righteous. He's quick to point out Mikey's flaws and moralize, which can be annoying if you're rooting for Mikey to have some genuine growth. Arrogance/smugness. Because he's often the one making the right choices or excelling, he can come across as arrogant or smug, especially towards Mikey. Passive aggression. He sometimes employs passive-aggressive tactics or subtle digs at Mikey rather than direct confrontation, which can be irritating. Can be a tattletale. In the context of their dynamic, he's often the one to report Mikey's misdeeds to adults. Mikey, the troublemaker/mischievous kid. Mikey is consistently the one getting into scrapes, making bad decisions, or trying to scheme his way out of situations. His constant troublemaking can be repetitive and predictable, leading to annoyance, especially when his actions impact others negatively. Lack of foresight/impulsiveness. He rarely thinks through the consequences of his actions, leading to predictable downfalls and lessons learned, which of course is the point of Darman videos. This impulsiveness can be frustrating. Whiny/complaining. When caught or facing consequences, Mikey often resorts to whining or complaining, rarely taking immediate responsibility for his actions. Stubbornness/resistance to learning. Despite frequently facing negative outcomes, Mikey often struggles to genuinely learn from his mistakes quickly, leading to repeated patterns of behavior. This can be annoying because the viewer expects character growth. Jealousy.
No
He can be
way.
visibly jealous of Jay's successes or the praise Jay receives, which sometimes fuels his mischievous actions. Together, the annoyance often comes from the predictable dynamic they share. Mikey messes up, Jay acts superior or gets him in trouble, and then a life lesson is delivered. While this is the core formula of Darman, the repeated nature of their specific roles can make them feel stuck in a loop, and their character traits exacerbate the, quote, annoying factor for viewers who might want more nuanced interactions or faster growth.
Then, why would Matt want to hurt me so much when I never did nothing to him?
Well, Gabriel, you only know what you're going through. You know what he's going through. Right?
You don't even care. How can you go through life like this? Embarrass me?
You're absolutely right to ask for clarification. While many viewers and even the titles of some videos imply or strongly suggest that Jay and Mikey are cousins, the exact nature of their relationship isn't always explicitly or consistently stated with 100% clarity across all of Darman's vast number of videos. However, based on their frequent interactions, their family-like dynamic, often living in the same or similar household environments, and the general perception of their recurring roles, they are widely understood and referred to by the fan base as cousins. They share a similar age group and are often seen together in school and family settings. It's a common trope in many serialized web series or shows that relationships are implied through context rather than always being explicitly stated, especially when the focus is on the moral of the story rather than intricate character backstories. In the Darman universe, continuity can sometimes be a bit fluid as well, with characters appearing and disappearing or having slightly shifting relationships. But for all intents and purposes, yes, they are generally considered and portrayed as cousins in the Darman videos where they appear together.
Okay.
Why would you even go to the Cinco de Mayo festival if you are racist?
Okay.
This guy like doesn't even realize what he's making fun of.
Hang on, I'll clean my eye out, y'all. What about yeah, I know I'm gonna ask. What about Drew from Tyler Look That Neighbor?
Drew from Everybody Hates Chris is an interesting case because unlike Tanya, who is overtly mischievous, or Rochelle, who can be intimidating, Drew's annoying qualities often stem from how he contrasts with Chris, rather than him being intentionally malicious. Here's what can make Drew annoying. Effortless perfection/luck. This is the primary source of annoyance. Drew is consistently portrayed as effortlessly good at almost everything. He's handsome, athletic, popular with girls, talented in various areas like karate and magic, and generally lucky. For Chris, who constantly struggles and faces adversity, Drew's natural ease in life can be incredibly frustrating to watch. It highlights Chris's own misfortunes.
Oh yeah, cause some there says in the show like dude Drew could look one time and he knows how to do it or something. I don't know.
Intended superiority. Drew isn't usually trying to rub his success in Chris's face, but his mere existence and inherent talents often make Chris feel inadequate or overshadowed. He's the younger brother who excels without trying, making Chris's hard-won victories feel less significant. The golden child dynamic in the family. Drew often receives more praise and less criticism than Chris, even when both brothers are involved in a situation. This favoritism, while sometimes subtle, can be annoying because it's unfair to Chris and contributes to his everybody hates Chris narrative.
Yeah, it does. So it's basically about how he's better than Chris and how to make Chris feel jealous. That's basically what it is.
Lack of obvious flaws initially. While he does have moments of being a bit naive or easily influenced, especially in later seasons, in the earlier parts of the show, Drew's character almost seems too perfect. This can be less relatable, and thus for some viewers less engaging or even slightly annoying, because he doesn't have the same struggles that make Chris, and even Tanya and Julius, more human and dynamic. Can be a bit dense/unaware.
What struggles did Tanya have in the show? I don't remember having any struggles in the show. What about Julius? What struggles he had in the show? The gout or whatever, yeah.
Sometimes, Drew can be a bit slow to pick up on social cues or the implications of situations, leading to him inadvertently making things worse for Chris, or not understanding Chris's frustrations. Essentially, Drew's annoyance factor isn't about him being a bad character, but rather how his seemingly perfect life and natural talents constantly throw Chris's struggles into sharp relief. He's the embodiment of everything Chris wishes he could be, but isn't, and that dynamic can...
I don't think Chris wishes he'd be like his brother. Did he really wish to be like his brother? Comment below, y'all. Did Chris in the show, in my head, Chris really wish that he could be like Drew? Like, kind of like, did he really wish that he could? Did he really wish that? Or did he really wish that he could? He ever said that in the show? I don't remember. So basically, it's about how Drew in the show seems too perfect. In parts of the show, Drew's character almost like too perfect. This can be less relatable and thrustful. So basically, comparing how he's more talented than Chris and how Chris feels jealous or whatever.
Be irritating to witness. Tanya, Chris's younger sister and Everybody Hates Chris, is often cited by viewers as one of the most annoying characters, and for very specific reasons. The ultimate tattletale. This is arguably her most defining and frustrating trait.
'Cause she be snitching,
Tanya makes it
huh?
her mission to get Chris in trouble, often for things he didn't do or for minor infractions. She revels in seeing him punished and frequently screams, "Daddy!" to rat him out, knowing it will lead to consequences for Chris. Spoiled and manipulative, she's often portrayed as spoiled, particularly by her father Julius, who is softer on her than he is on the boys. She uses this to her advantage.
You know why? Because he see her as daddy, little princess Tanya. No, Tanya can do no wrong. That ain't my sweet little Tanya. She would never hurt somebody with a hammer. And it's kind of obvious Rochelle and the boys are telling you she did that, and he's not believing Rochelle and the boys. And when Rochelle's friends, they're all telling him that, and he denies them all with a big dismissive hand and an energy blast. And metaphorically speaking, and they all get knocked out the window. Metaphorically speaking, and he don't believe
Manipulating her parents to get what she wants, or to avoid punishment herself. Cruel and sadistic, her actions towards Chris often go beyond typical sibling rivalry. She seems to genuinely enjoy his misery and actively works to make his life harder, even framing him for things she's done. This level of intentional meanness can be very off-putting to viewers. Lack of immediate consequences. For much of the show, Tanya rarely faces significant repercussions for her constant troublemaking and malicious behavior, especially when it targets Chris. This lack of accountability can be frustrating to watch, as Chris always seems to take the fall.
Wow.
One-sided antagonism. While all the family members contribute to Chris's struggles in some way, Tanya's antagonism often feels the most personal and unprovoked. She's a consistent source of conflict for Chris at home. In essence, Tanya embodies the archetype of the bratty younger sibling to an extreme, with a calculated malevolence that makes her highly effective at annoying not just Chris, but many viewers as well.
Oh, so she's like the main problem in his life, basically. No, I'll say she's up there for one of his main problems. She's up there. I remember the episode she asked Dad, "Ooh, can I set Chris on fire?" I'm sitting thinking like, this girl needs a psychologist. This girl needs a psychologist. Why are you asking me to set your sibling on fire? Ooh, Dad, can I set Chris? Ooh, can I set Chris on fire? Like, why do you ask him? Can you set Chris on fire? That's like hang on, y'all. Okay, so how many? After Melina, y'all, I'm going to end the video.
Melina from Mortal Kombat can be perceived as annoying for several reasons, both in terms of her character and how she's sometimes used in the games. Insanity and viciousness, Melina is canonically unstable, vicious, and prone to lashing out. Her personality is often characterized by a feral savagery, which, while true to her nature, can be grating to some players who prefer more coherent or less overtly chaotic characters. She's often shown as psychotic, emotionally unstable, and quick to anger. Obsession with katana/jealousy. A core part of her character, particularly in earlier timelines, is her intense hatred and jealousy of Katana. She wants to be Katana and live in her shadow, constantly seeking to usurp her or destroy her. This singular focus can make her feel one note to some, as her motivations often revolve around this rivalry. Gimmicky gameplay for some. In some iterations of the game, her fighting style, while unique, can be considered annoying to play against. This might involve reliance on certain tricky moves, constant teleporting, or specific attack patterns that are difficult to counter and can lead to frustration for opponents. For example, some have found her to be boring or uninteresting in terms of gameplay in certain titles, with reliance on chip damage or running away. Predictable character arc in older timelines. Her journey often revolves around a desire for power, usually to continue Shao Kahn's legacy, but she typically fails due to inexperience or lack of support. This constant failure and her inability to truly achieve her goals can make her arc feel repetitive to some. Her voice/laugh. Depending on the game, her vocalizations, particularly her high-pitched, often maniacal laugh or screeches, can be quite polarizing and annoying to players after hearing them repeatedly. Overexposure/fanbase behavior. For a period, especially around Mortal Kombat 11's release, there was a very vocal segment of her fanbase constantly demanding her inclusion. This intense demand, which sometimes crossed into aggressive harassment of developers, led to a backlash where some players grew annoyed not just with the character, but with the fervent nature of her fans. This isn't about Melina herself, but how she became a flashpoint in the community.
Alright, y'all, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and see you next time. Before we go, let me circle X recorder. I always want to circle X recorder. Let me circle you, X recorder. Okay, bye, y'all.